Hey, I know you're not supposed to hear this, but he's watching you. Don't turn around. That was the first thing Lily heard when she checked her voicemail. No caller ID, just that voice. Urgent, terrified, and unmistakably real. The message wasn't meant for her, but it said her name. Lily, if you're listening to this, he's already inside. She froze, alone in her apartment. The ceiling light flickered once, then again. Wind howled through the barely open window, but the air felt still, heavy. Lily replayed the voicemail, hoping she misheard. Don't look in the mirror. Whatever you do, don't look. Her eyes shifted involuntarily to the hallway mirror. It stood across from the kitchen, exactly where she passed every day without thinking. But now it was wrong. In the reflection, she stood motionless, but her hands weren't trembling, even though in real life they were shaking. In the mirror, she wasn't blinking. She wasn't breathing. And then her reflection smiled. Lily gasped and backed away, dropping her phone. The screen lit up with a second voicemail. Same voice. More desperate, crying. I tried to warn you, but the mirror, it remembers who sees it. It follows, it watches, and if it smiles, it's too late. Lily bolted to the hallway and grabbed a blanket to cover the mirror. But her arms, in the reflection, didn't move. Her reflection just stood there, smiling. And then it raised its hand and knocked on the inside of the glass. There was no sound in the room, but Lily heard it, in her bones. The knock wasn't just noise. It was a signal, like something waking up. She turned and ran to the door, dialing 911, but there was no ringtone, no static. Just a low hum, and under it, a whisper. You shouldn't have answered. Suddenly, her reflection stepped forward, closer to the glass. And Lily's phone screen lit up again. Another voicemail. No number. Just 2 words. Behind you. The voicemail ended. Lily didn't turn around. She stood frozen, her eyes locked on the mirror now covered in the thin throw blanket. But the blanket moved ever so slightly, like something inside had exhaled. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that isn't just absence of sound, but the presence of something else. Something waiting. She crept backward, 1 foot behind the other, toward her bedroom. Her phone buzzed in her hand. Another voicemail. If it sees you blink, it learns your face. If it learns your face, it can leave the glass. The message was time-stamped 5 minutes before the first. Whoever sent it knew what was happening before it started. Lily slammed the bedroom door and shoved her dresser in front of it. She dropped to the floor, trying to steady her breath, trying to make sense of anything. Mirrors don't smile. Reflections don't knock. And voicemails don't predict the future. She opened her phone. No signal, no Wi-Fi, no data, just one notification. Camera, new photo saved to gallery. She hadn't taken any photos. Trembling, she opened the gallery. It was a photo of her, taken from inside the mirror. She was in her kitchen, reaching for the blanket, but the angle, it came from the other side of the glass. And standing behind her, just out of frame, was a blurred figure. Black suit, pale face, eyes like cracks in glass. She dropped the phone. It slid under the bed. And then, knock. Once, twice, 3 times. But not from the mirror. From the bedroom closet. Lily's breath caught. That closet didn't have a mirror. But it did have an old vanity, one she'd covered with a sheet months ago. A family heirloom she never liked. She never noticed its mirror was still intact beneath. She slowly reached for the door. It creaked open an inch. Then another. Darkness inside. Silence. And then her own voice whispered back, You shouldn't have looked. Lily didn't sleep. She couldn't. By morning, every reflective surface in the apartment was covered. Mirrors, screens, even the kettle. Anything that could cast an image was hidden beneath sheets, towels, clothes. But it didn't help. Because the mirror didn't need glass anymore. Her phone lit up at 3:03 a.m., the same time every message had come before. This time, there was no voicemail, just a black screen. And then her face appeared. But she wasn't holding the phone. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't alive. The screen flickered, then buzzed, static. And a whisper through the speaker. Reflections multiply when you try to hide. The more you cover them, the more doors you create. She screamed and threw the phone into the hallway. The screen cracked, but it kept buzzing, like something inside was trying to get out. The next morning, she smashed every mirror she could find. But with each one shattered, her reflection lingered for a second too long. Like it didn't want to leave, like it was resisting. And then, she noticed it. In the slivers of broken glass, her reflection didn't match her expression. She was crying, but the pieces showed her grinning. And then those reflections started moving. Independently. One shard quivered on the table, another slid across the floor, like a spider skittering toward her foot. She backed up fast, kicking the pieces into a trash bag, tying it shut, tossing it into the bin outside. But from the second-floor window, she saw it. The bag untied itself, and inside, the glass shimmered. Something blinked. That night, she unplugged the TV, shut off every device, and sat in the dark, candle in hand. But when she looked into the melted pool of wax, she saw two faces. One was hers. The other, behind her. She turned. No one there. Then the door creaked open, just an inch. She heard the knock again, not loud this time. Just a soft tap on wood, and her own voice behind it. "Let me back in." Lily hadn't left the apartment in 2 days. When she finally did, something felt wrong. Her neighbors stared. The barista at the corner cafe flinched. The old man who usually smiled at her crossed the street. She tried to ignore it. Maybe she looked tired. Maybe she was tired. But then, at the pharmacy counter, the clerk tilted his head and asked, "Didn't you come in this morning already?" "No," she said. "Weird. You were wearing the same thing." Lily's hands went cold. She left without buying anything, heart pounding in her ears. She ran home, slammed the door, checked the security cam footage from the apartment building. At 9:14 a.m., someone had walked into the building. Someone who looked exactly like her. Same jacket, same limp in her step. Same everything. Except for the eyes. They weren't hers. They were empty. Lifeless. And then the footage glitched. When it resumed, she was inside the elevator, heading up to Lily's floor. But Lily hadn't left the apartment until noon. She rewound the footage, frame by frame. At one moment, just before the camera cut, the figure turned to the lens and smiled. That same smile. Too wide. Too still. Lily felt like vomiting. She ran to the hallway, yanked open the utility closet. Nothing. Checked under the bed. Nothing. But the bathroom door was slightly ajar. Steam inside. She hadn't used the shower. She stepped closer. Closer. Pushed it open. Inside, the mirror she'd smashed yesterday was whole again. And her reflection? It was brushing its hair. Smiling. Peaceful. Then it looked at her and mouthed, "You left me?" Lily screamed, but her reflection didn't. It kept brushing. Then the reflection leaned forward, pressed its hand to the inside of the mirror. And in the glass, her real reflection vanished. Only the other one remained. Lily no longer cast a reflection. She stood in front of every surface. Mirrors, windows, black screens, nothing, just emptiness. But the other version of her? She was everywhere. Photos began showing up on Lily's phone, ones she never took. Videos she never recorded, laughing at dinner with friends, smiling in places she hadn't been in months. People started texting her, commenting on how much happier she seemed lately. "You look so good yesterday. That video of you dancing was adorable." She hadn't left the house in days. One night, she tried calling her mom. Voice trembling, she whispered everything. But her mom only replied, Sweetie, we just talked an hour ago. You said you were fine. The thing was, she hadn't. Someone else did. She checked her social media. New posts. New profile picture. Same face, but the eyes. Cold. Sharp. Not hers. She deleted everything. Changed passwords. Shut off the Wi-Fi. And yet, the post kept coming. The final voicemail came at 3:03 a.m. Same voice as before. But this time it was her own voice, the real her, recorded from somewhere else. Terrified, shaking. If you're hearing this, then I didn't make it back. She's taken my place. You might see me out there, in photos, in mirrors, but it's not me anymore. Please, don't believe her smile. Lily stared at the mirror one last time. It was quiet, still. But then, behind her, the front door opened, and footsteps entered. Familiar, calm. She turned slowly. There she was, herself, holding groceries, wearing her clothes, smiling like nothing had happened. They locked eyes. The other Lily tilted her head. "You're not real," she said gently. "I'm the one who stayed." And before Lily could scream, everything went black.